get to work, get myself to work, do my pre-trip, take the vehicle, make sure it's safe to get on the road, all the lights, tires, just mainly the pre-trip of the day. Get my coffee, because you gotta have coffee in the morning, and then get a line into the burnout and ask for a load. Usually when I start my day, when I first sign into the tablet, I press request load, and they're like, hey, you just get in here now. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm ready. Like, come on, put me in, coach. And they'll be like, okay, 10-4. And then I get it ready and stand by and see where we're going. And in the hopes that it's somewhere close by, because I like to stay within my perimeter, but a lot of times it doesn't always work that way.
Oh, daily routine, it all depends. If you're on a night shift, you might be coming in at 11 o'clock. If it's a regular shift, you might be coming in at 6 o'clock or maybe 8 o'clock. It all depends. So at least 8 hours, they give you a turnaround. And for me, I don't live very far, but you got to give yourself at least 30 minutes to get to work or so. I've been doing it for 22 years plus. And for me, I think it's good money, easy job, but just depends on the hours.
The normal day of a mixer driver consists of whatever set schedule you have. Your day can start anywhere from 12 midnight to 5, 6 in the morning. You arrive for work promptly. You perform your pre-trip. You check your truck. You make sure all your inspections are done. You prepare yourself for the day. You make sure you're well rested. Make sure you're prepared mentally. Then after that, if you need fuel, you fuel up. Once
we get loaded, depending on what jobs, I usually try to ask for the days, like the jobs that we're at, depending on the day, to see where we're at. But usually once we get loaded, depending where we're going, if we're going to a big job, we usually back it up here to the slump stand, and then the catwalk, and then so they can check the mix out, check my route, make sure I'm going into, see the route, make sure if I have 2 ways to go, I'm gonna see which one's better for me, depending on the time of the day too. Usually we start at nighttime. That's why I like rolling in at night. I like to check my load, get out to the delivery, make sure we're set up, ready to go, and then run as many loads as I can for the day. And once we're done, once we do our work, depending on how we have left, we usually get washed out for the day for 13 hours, check our truck, load it with water, clean out the drum, make sure we have everything situated inside the cab, do our post-trip, fuel it up, get ready for tomorrow, get home, shower, rest, depending on what we got to do. Hopefully get prepared get some rest for the next day.
For me, the most rewarding part of my job is having a job. But the most rewarding part is, man, you can operate in any job you have, but mainly this one, you can operate in humility, because it's all about safety first.
Honestly, the driving, I've been driving maybe 13 years now. A lot of people can't, we have to be the professional drivers out here on the road. But we're all drivers, small cars, big cars, long 18-wheelers, double, mainly held to a higher standard. And to be able to know that I get to the job safely in a timely manner, it feels good, because knowing that I got there safe, I was able to watch out for other people. That's mainly the thing for me, is getting there on a time and it's safe. Doing that, throughout the day is like, all right, I'll make sure that I was safe, and then anybody else around me was safe, and no one got hurt.
So one of the hardest parts is maneuvering in traffic. We go all destinations. They send us all over places, Some small streets, some highways you can't get on. So you have to be considerate of the other motorists. And sometimes that can be, complicated. So therefore you just try to make the best of what you have, and you be courteous to the other drivers. Sometimes, they're not going to be courteous to you. You continue to be courteous, you perform your job well, and you make it back safely.
Challenging. Ooh, getting out of here in under 8 minutes, like they want you to. Sometimes the technology we have on our system, on our trucks, is not always synced in correctly. Like it's not always ready to go. So I know my mud. I know when I look at it, it's what I need and where I'm going. I know what I got, but we also have to have a reading to protect, like the company saying, hey, this is what you left with a good reading. You know, when you get to the job, you want to make sure you get a good reading there too, because they want to know, like, all right, you left with a good slump.
You get paid to do something you love. You perform it safely. You make it back safe, and you know you get to come to work the next day.
Well, it's kind of crazy how I got into it, because I used to build mobile homes. I used to be a supervisor for mobile homes off of 183, and I worked there for about 16 years.
I personally chose to be a mixer driver was because it was a challenge, something different for me. To have all your weight in a vehicle that's shorter, top heavy, I initially was intimidated. I wanted to take that challenge on to know that I could make another step in a different career path, because I was previously driving tractor trailer and all the weights outwards versus center top. Yes, it was because it was another challenge for me to take in my career in driving and transportation.
My father was a truck driver for his whole career before he passed away, and I always wanted to follow in his footsteps and be a truck driver. I drove big trucks for a while, but I got in the mixer business a few years back, and you have the solitary of being by yourself, to be able to stay focused, to be able to think. Concrete business, it's booming. They're building so much, so it's a stable job, it's a stable career, and it is a good living.
My uncle, he worked for Syntex Materials, and his boss, he asked my uncle, hey, you know anybody that does remodeling? And he says, yeah, I got a guy that can do remodeling. So I went over there and I remodeled the restrooms, and then that guy says, hey, you want to work for me? I said, but I don't have a Class B, because you know what? I see the kind of stuff you do and all that, and I'm interested in you. So he hired me. He hired me, and they trained me, and I haven't looked back since. To me, it's an easy job. You know, easy job. You can make it hard, but it's pay attention. You get the proper training. It's a real easy job.
This was one time I was part of a project that was right off of Friedrich Lane, and it was a few mixer drivers where they were pouring the slab, and the customer requested these certain drivers because they were doing a good job. So, you know, we finished that job, and it was a little project, and they kept the same drivers going back to that job, and the customer called in and said, hey man, this guy in this truck, man, they were great, man. And you know, and not saying that we need to look for validation as drivers, but it was good to have that feeling. Somebody say, hey man, they did a great job. And they thought of you enough to call in and say, man, they did a great job. So that was pretty good.
So my favorite project to be being worked on was doing mat pours. It's a lot going on. The mat pours, essentially, I believe it's going to be anywhere from 800 to 3,000 yards of concrete going into the center to create either a 40-story building or a 60-story building. Usually it's anywhere from 3 pumps going at it, 2 trucks at a time, and it's a lot. You have to have, you got to be on your P's and Q's, and it's just an adrenaline rush from it. Probably can see it now in me coming out, but yes, it's a lot to go on, and you have to be on your P's and Q's, so you want it done in a timely manner, and it's rewarding to know that the job was finished in time.
Well, my favorite project was a big challenge. The mat pour that they had, I think they had over 10,000 plus yards or something. They had a couple of companies help us out, and that was a challenge because you had trucks coming out from every direction, and it was exciting. I was real excited for that job, and that's me. I like challenges, and that's one of them.
we see you on the road, and we hope to you see us as well, and that we don't slow down as quick. We're just like you. We're just another human being trying to get to where we're going safely. We are courteous of each other. Not everyone's eager to cut line in traffic, and that we have a family just like you. We got to get to the end of the day to be mindful, because we're trying to get to the same light, the same area, the same destination. Yeah, that's I want to say that's it right there.
Not dangerous if you're not. The thing is, if you're not paying attention, that's when things happen. These trucks, now that they're making it easier, automatics, it's like driving a regular truck, but you got a big heavy load. And if you be, watching what you're doing, paying attention, getting enough sleep, you shouldn't have a problem. And so people shouldn't be scared of them, And it's things happen like that because people are not paying attention, or they don't get their proper training, and that's why, things happen that way.
What I would share with people, and what I would want them to know about being a mixer driver, there is no set schedule. But yet there's benefits to it. I mean, if you take care of yourself, you rest. This job is very rewarding, honestly, being a mixer driver. Some people may say, no, it's not, but it's very rewarding, and that's the fun part about it. And as you're seen to be reliable, and there's no question that you're gonna show, they really work with you. I can't speak for all of the other cement companies because I haven't worked for them, but Lauren, they really work with you, If you need something, if you need to take off, if you need to do this, they really work with you. So that's kind of rewarding, as long as you properly prepare yourself, go home, get you some rest, and be prepared, and put it in your mind. If this is something you want to do, you'll love to do it. If it's not something you want to do, there's a potentially where you could try it and fall in love with it. So what I would say to people out there to know about the concrete business is, you'll always have a job. And if you learn to love it, because it's so easy, you'll grow.